Vice President Mike Pence headlines Farm Bureau's Lansing Legislative Seminar.
This president and this entire administration have supported agriculture from the very beginning. And just as you've stood with us, I promise you, Michigan Farm Bureau, we will always stand with you.
Over 2,000 students donning blue and gold jackets visited the campus of Michigan State University this week for the 92nd Annual Michigan FFA State Convention.
Emma Waller from the Montague FFA chapter.
So my essay consisted of conducting E. coli samples in a creek and then in Lake Michigan, and I ran a statistical analysis on whether it was safe to swim in Lake Michigan with E. coli.
Dairy farmers across the country and right here in Michigan are tasked with doing the unthinkable, dumping milk.
Farmers are still working, but not getting paid much for the product, and then have the heartbreak of having to dump a valuable product that they know people need. And just the human story of that is something that farmers really are heartbroken about. Nobody enjoys dumping milk.
Covid-19 is leaving no sector of the agriculture industry untouched. Beef and pork processing plants across the country are temporarily shuttering or slowing production as a result of employees testing positive for the virus. Michigan producers are seeing impacts to their bottom line as cattle and hogs meant for market back up on the farm.
Currently, we're having to hold April cattle because we contract some through JBS plant in Greeley, Colorado that recently shut down due to COVID-19 getting into the workforce. And so this is disrupting the whole supply chain.
Farm Bureau Insurance is giving back more than $5 million to its members across the state, part of the company's We're in This Together initiative. The effort will help members, first responders, and restaurants. Farm Bureau Insurance is purchasing gift cards to 1,200 restaurants as part of the effort. The gift cards will be sent to 215,000 members, which includes Farm Bureau Insurance customers, and will be used to supply 18,000 meals to first responders. Corn and soybean planting in Michigan and across the country is well ahead of last year's pace. This week we traveled to Bath, Michigan for a planting progress update at Zeeb Farms.
I didn't start last year till the 14th of May. Yeah, I got probably close to 3/4 of the corn planted already. That was all done in April.
Zeeb was planting soybeans during our visit, and while he says soil temperatures weren't ideal, they were manageable.
Well, we're no-tilling soybeans with John Deere 750 no-till drill. This is the handiest tractor to make corners with, so this is the one that gets to pull the drill.
Massive amounts of rain falling across mid-Michigan over the last week have left fields waterlogged. In Midland County, 2 dams failed, forcing more than 10,000 people to evacuate and putting fields, homes, and businesses underwater. The governor declared a state of emergency in Midland County in response to what's being called historic 500-year flooding, and is also asking for help from the federal government.
I want to continue to remind people, if you're in an impacted area, please evacuate. This is going to be hard, but we are anticipating several feet of water across this area. And so, while we're in the midst of a global pandemic, it's really important that to the best of our ability, we observe the best practices to keep ourselves and our families safe. We're going to get through this. It is a tough time, to be sure, but we are going to get through this.
We farm about 2,000 acres, and I'd say maybe 300 of it is above ground right now. All the rest is underwater. From our farm south, there's probably 5 miles now of solid water. Every crossroad and everything's flooded. We don't have a whole lot of cattle around here. There is some, but they moved them to higher ground and stuff. And we had 500 acres of corn, and I think maybe 80 acres of it is above water right now. Some of it there is right on the river, and that's under about 10 feet of water.
It's peak UPick season for strawberry growers, and one operation in southeast Michigan is having its best year yet.
Our family gets together because some of my family lives in Michigan, so we all come together and just pick strawberries together, and it's fun.
We've had to do some adapting. Some of the stuff we were doing, we were already doing. We've kept people separated in the fields to give them room to pick, the families, and so that hasn't really changed for us. We'll put a flag in, have them start on a row, and when they get so far up, then we'll have the next person, that row next to them, go ahead and start. So everybody's got pretty fair distance away from each other than the ones that come in together. So that didn't change for us. We've had to add a little bit more signs on the farm to make people aware of it. We've had some water by our porta cans. We put some water stations in there for people washing and doing things like that. And with so many people, we've had to add another exit to the farm to be able to control the outgoing crowd.
For the Yo girls, the only thing they're stressing about is who is the best strawberry picker in the family.
Probably my dad or my mom. And me! Yeah.
I will call this meeting to order.
Michigan Farm Bureau put the wraps on one of its most unique annual meetings in the organization's storied history. In its 101st year, MFB pivoted to a virtual format in order to comply with COVID-19 related restrictions on large gatherings, while maintaining the grassroots policy development process. The process culminated in a one-day policy discussion session on December 2nd. It included over 300 delegates debating and voting virtually on over 100 resolutions.
We are going to proceed to vote on elections as amended. So, all in favor, press 1. All opposed, press 2, and vote now. The motion passed.
You know, I think we got it right today. We have an opportunity for discussion, and we've seen that this morning. We've seen the votes. We're working through the technology problems, and I think everybody's staying with the day to get the job done, to make sure our policy book is right, and the delegate body will, in the end, have our voice.